Welcome to this channel once again. So today we are going to talk about print function. I'm using Visual Studio Code Editor. So as you can see, I have a folder on this side panel, YouTube tutorials, where I will be composing these tutorials to help you guys who are starting out with Python programming language. So to begin with, I have this main folder inside the YouTube tutorials folder. Inside this folder, I have Python, which houses every other topics. So each topics I've organized them into folders. So for example, variables and identifiers, all these are inside the introduction folder. So for today's topic, I want to talk about a print function. So for this, I'll create a folder inside Python folder. So that means you just point at this Python folder and you click on new folder icon here, that is left click. And then there is an input area where you can write the name of the folder. So this is print function. We're talking about print, put underscore between them, print function, press enter. This is our folder. So to create a file inside this folder, again I'll select the folder and come and create the file. The file I'm creating, it is a txt file, and its name it is notes.txt. So this is a text file where I'll be writing the material for print function so that please understand what is happening theoretically and practically. So this is it. Print or printing outputs, or I can just term it as print function. Just say print function. So what is this print function? Print functions allow a program to display text, numbers, values stored in memory onto the screen or console. So the value stored in memory basically usually supply the variable name to the print as the argument. So I know those are big words, but it will make sense as we go on. So this is print function. Its main purpose is to display text, numbers, and values onto the terminal or console for people to see. So there are several ways print function can be formatted to display values or outputs onto the console. But before we do that, we will create a new file where we will be writing examples practically. So for this, select the folder, print function, come and click on the file and say print. So just say test.py. So print function, we've said, is used to display text. So how is that possible? So this is what is happening. So I can write print bracket. This is the syntax of print function. It usually has bracket in front of the word keyword print. Then I can write text. So how does it display text or string? I can just add speech marks here and say hello world. This is one of the things that is used to display. It's used to display text. Let me put the cursor at the beginning. I need to add some comments inside on the first line. So this is single line comment. I'll say display string. So to display string, our string is hello world. So how do we run this program? you must have installed the Python interpreter. So I'll pull up the command prompt. So for me, I'm going to these three dots here. Then there is this terminal, new terminal appears. I'll delete the ones I don't want. And the ones, the partial ones, I want the CMD. So this is my terminal and this is the folder I'm currently in. I can type cl clear. It is CLS in command prompt. Press enter to clear out the terminal and then type dir. I can see my folder there. The dir is used to list the directories. So my file is print function. I want to navigate to that folder. So notify this is the folder print function. So I'll type cd print function. It is print underscore function. Then I'll clear the screen and type dir to display what is inside there. So I have two files, notes and test.py. So how do you save this? You press Ctrl S. You make sure you save the file by pressing Ctrl then S. You come here, you type Python test.py. Press enter. You're able to see hello world on the screen. Yeah, so that's how you execute Python programs. As you can see, the text hello world has been displayed on the console or terminal. Another thing that print function is used to display numbers. And how does it display numbers? Just say print, you can put any value there. You can say 56. If I run this program again by typing Python and then the file, press enter, you'll get 56 as the result. So implement or execution usually from first line to the last line. So these comments are automatically skipped because they are used just to explain what the line following it or above it is all about. So used to display numbers here. Again, it can be used to display values stored in a variable. Display values stored in variables. So I have a video for that, as you can see here, how to come up with variables and all that. So you can check on it, as it will be very helpful to arriving at this place. So it's used to display values stored in a variable. So how do we go about it? So just create a variable called total. Total is 100. So here the value 100, it's being stored in this address location by the operator in the middle here, equal sign. This equal sign is called assignment operator. So it is taking the right operand and storing it in the left operand. So these are operands. 100 is the right operand, total is the left operand. So assignment operator is in the middle. So its task is take the value from the right operand and stores it in the left operand. Right operands are values, left operands most of the time they are address locations or variables. So the right can be a variable because it can be a value, it can be an address where another value is stored. So I'm passing it to another address. So how do we display this? We want to ascertain if inside this address location you have the value 100. So we write the print function, then supply the address as the argument. So the file is not saved because you can see there is yellow dot, there's white dot here. That means you not save the file. So to save, you press Ctrl then S. File is saved. So to run again, make sure you are in the directory where the file is. And this directory is print function. And then you type Python, space test.py. Press enter. So you can see we have 100 displayed. So that tells you that print function is a messenger which goes to the memory location, which is total, and retrieves the value 100 there. So that is one of the functions of print function, as you've seen here. It's used to retrieve the value stored in the memory location and displays on the screen. Now, there are several ways a print function can be used to display value. For example, this value 100, we don't know what that is, but we can format the print function so that the output has much sense to the person seeing. So for example, I can come here and say, put some speech mark and say this is the total marks. Save by saying Ctrl S again. So you can see when I run this file this time, I'm able to get some nice explanation as to how we have 100 here, as opposed to the first instance where we just had the word, the total. So this is the purpose. This is the reason why we want to explore deeper into print function. We want to see what are these ways that we can use print function to make the outputs more meaningful. Because as you can see, this line, this is first line, this is just a simple output. Simple output will be displayed. But when you look at the second line, this is a bit explanatory output. At least there is some insight as to what total stands for. The value stored in total stands for. So this is the reason why we are exploring deeper and why you should always at least make the outputs explanatory to somebody seeing those outputs. So I can save the file again by pressing Ctrl S. Now we want to look at more ways. So this is one of the simplest ways you can explain what you are outputting. Also, we have other ways of explaining what is happening. So I can just comment these lines because I'm done with them by pressing hashtag in front of them. Shift and number 3 most of the time, the keyboard. So I want to remain with this other line. So I can write Python here and test.py. Press enter. So I have my simple output and my explanatory output. Now, let's come and talk about other ways of displaying. So this now brings us to what we call string formatters. First one we have, it is called f-string substitution. Substitution. And the second one is called str.format. These are the two major string formatters that we have. There are so many ways to format, but we'll just look at this two first of all. Now, let's begin with f-string substitution. So f-string substitution, most of the time when you encounter it in any program that you might have downloaded or seen online or on one of your friends' laptops, you'll find that the keyword F is inserted at the beginning of the bracket, beginning of the print function brackets. It's usually inserted. So f string substitution, one of its component is the f. One more of its component, one extra component it has, usually found that there's usually a bracket, curly bracket that is inserted to shield the variable from being converted to a string. So what is the syntax for f-string substitution? So before that, there is this statement here. I will write it. So an f at the beginning of the string tells Python to allow any current valid variable names within the string. That's the purpose of the f there. So let me write a syntax here so that you can get the picture of what is this f string we're talking about. So let's say we have a variable total and it has 100 stored inside. Then you have print bracket f speech mark. So that is the syntax. We usually have the f. F is the first letter that comes just after the bracket. Then we have the speech mark. After the speech mark, we have the curly bracket. Inside the curly bracket, we usually have the variable name. And then we close with the speech mark. So this is the syntax for f-string substitution. So let me substitute variable name with this variable called total. So just say print bracket f speech mark, say total there, and then finally I insert a speech mark at the end. So when you write such a program this way, this area will be, the value will be replaced there. So you can write this example. This on the side we see. So this is an example for f-string substitution. So we have t is equals to 50. I can say print, start with f, speech mark, curly brackets, put t in the middle, and save the file by pressing Ctrl S. So let me just comment this. The parts, I'm done with them. And they are not, I'm done. Then I press save, Ctrl S. So if I run this program again this time, we go to see 50. That is the f-string substitution. So this value of 50 will replace this whole thing here. So what is the main purpose of using f-string substitution? Again, it is so that you can insert that explanation part of it so that the output makes some sense. How? This is it. Print bracket f speech mark, the total number of oranges is speech mark. So if I run this program this time again, the total number of oranges is 50. So there is that explanatory part of it. Right? So that is the purpose of f-string substitution. You can even put in some serious calculations. For example, you can say length is equals to 50. You can say width equals to 30. And I can say area equals to length multiplied by width. Then I can say print, put f there and say length times width. Width equals to brackets area. So if you run this program this way, it has some nice syntax. Looks cool. So Python test.py, press enter. So length 50 times width 30 equals to 1500. When you look at this, it makes sense. We have 50 as the length, width is 30, it equals to 1500. So that is the f-string substitution. It's used to, you find you have the f here, and then the variable is inserted inside the two curly brackets. That is f-string substitution. Now, the next category that we have, so that the first one was f-string substitution. The second category that we have, it is called str.format. So str format is a bit different from the f-string substitution. So we'll start with the syntax for this. So let me just write the syntax there. This is how it looks like. So we have the speech mark. So here we don't start with the F. Start with the speech mark. Then we add 0. So these are called indexes. So we have the 0 there. So what are these zeros and 1? So here 0 and 1 are called indexes. So what are these indexes I'm talking about? So index values begins at 0 to infinity. So we can have 0 to 9. Examples 0 to 9. Those are indexes or index position. So in this example that we have here, find that you find that in this example, the variable will be replaced in the specified index. For example, that is respectively. So we have variable 1. So here, 0 and 1 are called indexes. Index values begins at 0 to n can be 0 to 10, 0 to 20. Example 0 to 9. In this example, the variables will be replaced in the specified indexes. That is, so for example, when you look at this, value stored in variable 1 will respectively be inserted to this index position. Variable stored at index position. This second variable, the value stored here will be replaced in this second index position. That's how it happens, respectively. So we start with variable 1, value here will be stored in index position 0. Variable 2, value stored there will be replaced in index position 1. So let's write an example for this. And to talk about str.format. So for this, let's say I have a variable a equals to 10 and b equals to 15. I can say print bracket speech mark curly bracket. I can say a 0 index position 0, and then I can say x bracket index position 1. Then there is no space between speech mark and full stop. Just immediately add full stop there. Then you write format. Then 2 normal brackets, and then you write respectively how you want the values to be arranged. So I'll start with A because I want A to be in index position 0, the value in A to be in index position 0, and I'll go for B here because I want the value in B to be inserted in the index position 1. So I can save this file, I can run this file. It is 10 times 15. But again, we need the results. So for this, I'll put equal sign, put curly brackets, and then say this is index position 2. Come here, put a comma, and now add A times B, because that is the position I want the results. So save the file again, come to this, right click, press enter. 10 times 15 equals to 150. So as you can see, that is str.format. Those are the two examples of string formatters that we have. I will end at this point. So feel free to like and subscribe to channel. If you have any question, you can always reach out. Comments, we will be happy to help. If there is anything I've missed, feel I should address, if there is something you need to know and you feel I should talk about it, you can always contact. Thanks you once again. See you next time.